So not long ago, I saw that Silent Hill 2 was available for download via the PlayStation Plus subscription, and I decided it'd be a cool game to discuss on my channel. Now, I wouldn't consider myself a horror gamer, and in fact, I hate playing horror games. Like, for real. Alien Isolation is still sitting in my library with only about 4 hours of total playtime. I always tell myself this time is going to be different, but I always end up putting the game down. I just don't enjoy the levels of panic horror games make me feel. I don't like when my heart is left thudding against my sternum, or when an unexpected enemy peers at me from behind a tree. I'm looking at you, The Forest. That goddamn game traumatized me and my friend Tori. With that being said, Silent Hill 2 is often praised as one of the greatest survival horror games of all time. Some even call it masterpiece. Considering the fact that I've grown to enjoy speaking with as much brain power as I can muster about things such as games, movies, and shows, I thought I'd give this incredible title a shot. I will begin my journey knowing only two things. One, this story is about a man looking for his lover. Two, he searches for her in a place called Silent Hill. Also, I'll admit, I thought this was a Resident Evil 2 game, and when I saw this James dude, I swear he looked so much like Leon. So I found myself referring to him as Leon, only to be corrected in game multiple times. I am now aware that this Silent Hill, this is this is not a part of the Resident Evil universe, and this is not Leon. But that's just proof that I genuinely don't play these games, guys. I might watch somebody play them from time to time, but I do not play these games. Now, we wouldn't begin our journey in Silent Hill, however, but at an overlook called the Toluca Lake Observation Deck. Unfortunately, I was unable to capture my beginning moments wandering aimlessly around the overlook. I clicked record full video, so I'm not sure why a few early minutes were cut short, likely due to space issues on my PS5. My apologies. However, I only walked up and down the street, read some weird writings on the bathroom wall. The last word was too smudged to read, something about the hands fashioned and ineligible. Before we've even stepped foot into the town, the warnings are literally written on the walls. I left the restroom and walked over to my car, grabbing a map of the area off the driver's seat, and then I descended down the forested path. I made my way to this strange well where I was able to save my game. When James looked into it, there's kind of this red filter that engulfs his features as he looks in, almost like it's filled with blood. He comments that it feels like a hand groping around his skull. When he does, this reminds me of an old saying, when you peer into the abyss, it peers back into you. Not far down the road, I came up on a graveyard. This is where my footage would actually begin recording, at this graveyard, when I will begin speaking to who I will consider or call the Graveyard Girl.
I'm looking for my mama.
A comforting and welcoming sight she was, despite having experienced no real frights yet. The ambience and environment of Silent Hill exudes a sense of classic dread. The girl and I spoke. She's looking for her mama, but corrects herself with mother. That fearful childlike innocence showing its face through the fog around us, ever encompassing. The girl warns me of the dangers within town, but James states clearly that he is looking for someone he loves deeply. He doesn't care about the dangers. We say farewell, wishing each other luck on our respective searches. Humans can be such brave creatures under the right circumstances, or wrong. Some people will trudge into a hellscape for love. I continued on the trail and made it to the auto parts place. There was a note outside. Apparently the owner left to get a window fixed. Keys left in the drawer. I retrieved the keys, exited through the front, and now I was just outside of Nathan Avenue. Just a little more walking, and I've now entered into Silent Hill. At this point, I'm thinking I could turn right onto Sanders Street. I suppose the game starts now. I gotta say, I love the little freedoms the game gives you to seemingly explore this foggy town at will. Many horror games are almost a terrifying tour, but this feels more like I'm being given the ability to uncover the truth about this place on my own accord, you know? It's a freeing but daunting feeling. What if I'm going the wrong way? What if I'm not meant to be here? But that's what seems to keep you engrossed. Before going down Sanders, I went into a floral shop. Someone left a note about a strange order. Reds and whites. Supposedly that's bad luck. There was also what looked like blood leading out the back door. I kept walking until I got to the end of Sanders Street. Well, I didn't get to the end. I got halfway down and noticed there's some kind of blockade, tall as a building. Looks like maybe there was some kind of quarantine, perhaps. I guess I'll turn back and search for another route. This place was making me feel extremely uneasy for obvious reasons. As soon as you step foot into Silent Hill as a newcomer to its lore, the question you're immediately asking yourself is, where the hell is everyone? If there ever was a ghost town, it's this place, but why? I did a bit more walking, and as I was doing so, I could swear I was hearing movement around me. Those old school metal trash cans being knocked over and the sounds of what I could only describe as scuttling. Like something or someone crawling on the floor. Quick. Stuff like that makes my skin crawl, especially in video games, because I am no longer the watcher. I'm no longer just watching someone experience the horror exclusively. I am being made the victim. I am actively being made the victim of said horrors when I play horror games. You're not just a spectator when you play horror games. You are the prey. I don't like that. That's the part I don't like. Then the encounter with the first creature happened, after following it through the fog and into an old apartment complex. These things seem to have zippers incorporated into their abdomens. I don't know how or why someone would do such a thing, but it is quite horrific to look at. James grabs a stick of wood nailed into the window frame and prepares to fight. I didn't expect the combat to be so visceral and satisfying, if I'm being honest with you. Stomping that amalgamated monstrosity out, it felt cathartic. It did. It felt good, and it made me feel a little less nervous about going out and exploring this world and this lore, knowing that I can fight back. I had forgotten to log a lot, but I made it to the apartments, I found notes, and I killed many of those nasty creatures. I read a note that directed me to apartment 9, something about a resident. I went to the apartments, went into the landlord's office, and I found a note about apartment 5 having a leak. I took the keys to 5 and entered the room. This enabled me to enter and gain access to room 9. I looked around and found a jukebox button with a number 2 on it, but when I got to apartment 9, it was locked from the inside and black sludge was on the doorframe. Whatever was inside of there, maybe we don't want to enter. I had to leave. I ended up finding these strange bloodied notes around this trailer and on the street. They seem to be warnings. Whoever it is seems to want to help. I made it to Happy Burger, where I killed more of those things and fought for my life. I also found medical supplies, then left only to be ambushed by what I call a crawler. I killed it and found a note nearby. You will see sooner or later, you will see. I was ambushed again, killed the creature, and found another note nearby the truck with codes on it. 0000-4013. I have no clue what these codes go to, I was still worried about encountering more of those humanoid sleeping bags, so I should definitely take a second look at it. Maybe it could be a safe. Whoever is leaving them clearly has, or had, good intentions. I then headed back down Sanders Street and to the bar where I saved my game. That's where I ended, and I haven't played since. It felt like a good enough place to end the session. This was maybe 70 minutes of gameplay or so, chopped up to fit my script. Overall, I am genuinely enjoying the game as best that I can, but I do find my favorite parts are either when I'm huddled in a safe building, discovering bits and pieces of lore, or beating those human sleeping bag thingies with a 2x4, man. That's the favorite part, because at least then I have a level of control, you know? I don't know what's in store for me with this game, but clearly Silent Hill 2 has much more for me to discover, and maybe, just maybe, I'll enter the fog again soon, and you guys can come along with me for the ride.